Joyce, Director of Research at the McGregor Company. 1st of April, I'm down in the Walla Walla Valley checking out our variety trial and agronomy plots. And one of the more interesting plots that we have going this year is our maximum wheat yield attempt. And it really mirrors the maximum wheat yield project that we have going on throughout the region, but it helps us fine-tune that program. So what I wanted to talk about was, if you came to my winter grower meetings, you heard me talk about how getting our nitrogen management plan spot on helps us maximize grains per head. So a little reminder of exactly when that nitrogen demand is, what crop stages we need to be aiming for, and how to go about assessing those crop stages as well.
It's funny that whenever I leave Colfax, I feel on time, and then I come down here and I always feel behind. So the crop has moved from tillering well into stem elongation since the 3 weeks I've been here. And I think it's a really appropriate time to talk about nitrogen management. When you think about the big drivers and the tools that we have to affect grains per head, this is getting our nitrogen management right. One of the keys to getting nitrogen management right is understanding how timing to nitrogen affects our crop's physiology. So with wheat, if we have access to nitrogen before stem elongation, so as it's tillering, that tends to induce more tillering. So if we have poorly tillered wheat coming out of winter, the reason we would top dress is to help induce more tillers. However, in our region, we typically have really nicely tillered wheat since we plant on time. Getting that nitrogen, the spring nitrogen applications on during stem elongation can really help drive our spikelets per head. So that's how many actual rows of grains each one of those heads will produce. That is determined early on in stem elongation. And then the fertile florets per spikelet are really determined at that Feeks 8, 9, and 10 timing. If you think about the nitrogen demand curve in wheat, nitrogen has peak demand from Feeks 6 to Feeks 8. During this time frame, which is during the beginning of hollow stem through when those nodes are separating, during this time frame, wheat will demand between 3 and 5 pounds of nitrogen per day. One of the keys, or I think one of the keys in our region to getting our nitrogen peak availability on top of peak demand for that nitrogen crop is utilizing products such as nitrogen stabilizers. Those are applied generally in the fall to our winter wheat. So if we didn't use those nitrogen stabilizers and our nitrogen has moved through the profile and the crop's having a little hard time getting access to it, what can we do? That's where traditionally we'd look at top dressing. I would encourage you to try some foliar feeding. When we're at stem elongation, we need that crop to have fast and ready access to urea-based nitrogen supply to really help upregulate photosynthesis and start getting assimilation down into the roots so that we can get that growth later season. That's where we can really take advantage of our herbicide timing. The field behind me has not had our herbicide applications, and we can use products such as Rally to really maximize that nitrogen use efficiency during our stem elongation. Taking advantage of your herbicide timing and doing some foliar feeding to actually hit that crop with what it needs when it needs it right at stem elongation can be a great way to not only drive use efficiency, but to ensure that your grains per head is maximized and that that crop has all the nitrogen it needs very efficiently.